There are many interesting and exciting locations all over the world that make up the LEGO Group. Today, our all-access passport takes us to the capital of the Bavaria region in Germany to find out what life, play, and work look like behind the bricks. Hello, and welcome to a whole new season and a whole new episode of Live Behind the Bricks. I'm Jake Blaze. I'm the creative lead for Learning Through Play here at the LEGO Group, coming to you from sunny Bill in Denmark. I'm super excited to see so many people online for today's session. I know that some of you will watch this as a replay, so I'm giving everyone a warm LEGO welcome wherever and whenever you're tuning in. Today, we are meeting actual colleagues from our Munich office, and I'm going to be asking loads of different questions to find out what do they do there, how do they do it, and how they apply play to their everyday work. But not all the questions are coming from me. You out there can also ask questions at any time, so please drop them into the Q&A. There's a little function with a little question marks, a box with a question mark. Drop them in there, and my amazing producers backstage will send those over to me. If we don't get to it on this call, don't worry. We'll try to answer any questions we miss after the session. So let's get started. Now, through the magic of modern podcasting technology, my amazing colleagues will now join the screen in 3, 2, 1. Hey, it worked. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Jake.
Hello.
Excellent. All right. I'd love it if we just take a round of introductions so we can go around, tell everybody your name, what is your job at the LEGO Group, and where you're originally from. And those of you who are watching from home or from work or wherever you are, feel free to type in where you're from as well, so that we get a sense of the community that's online. And let's start with Thomas.
Hello. Welcome,
Thomas.
everybody. I'm Thomas. I'm originally from Mainz, a beautiful city of Mainz, and now working as a LEGO Group as a senior customer operations manager.
Great. Good to meet you, Thomas. And Anna is the next one on my screen.
Yeah, welcome. I'm Anna. I work at the LEGO Group as a brand relations and event manager. And I'm originally from Munich or around that area, so close to Augsburg. But I only relocated last year to work for LEGO. Before that, I lived 8 years in Berlin, so rather new again back to Bavaria.
Super. Thanks, Anna. And how about Trung?
Hi, my name is Chung. I am also from Munich. I'm an employee relations consultant working in the HR department. And yeah, I'm originally from here, but with Vietnamese roots for those who are interested.
Great. Thanks, Chung. Who wants to go next? Verinia.
Sure, why not? Hi, everyone. Really glad to be on here today. I'm actually in the same department as Chung. We're colleagues. I'm also in the HR department. I'm the HR business partner for our general manager, Julia, and her team. But we both have a bit of a split role. So we're both also responsible for what we call Europe Central, which is Germany, Austria, and Switzerland business. So we also have a lot of amazing stores in our countries that hopefully a lot of you have seen before. And we also have a customer service center in Berlin that we also look after and work with the leaders really closely. Oh, and I'm also from the same region as Thomas, actually. I'm from the Frankfurt area.
Ah, okay. Lovely.
Yeah.
Good to meet you. And Eva Marie.
Yes, I'm Eva. I'm originally born close to Nuremberg, but it's also in Bavaria. Then I moved to Munich. I'm a social responsibility manager for Germany, Austria, and Switzerland.
Super. Nice to meet you all. I heard a lot of HR type of roles in here. Is that primarily what you'd see in Munich?
No, it's actually not. We're just a few colleagues here. I think 4 or 5 HR colleagues, and the majority of people you will see in Munich are actually we call it a B2B, business to business team. So that's our big sales team. Then we have a huge marketing team, and we also have an operations team that actually Thomas is part of Anna is part of our marketing team, and Eva is also having this amazing role where she does a lot of community work. But the most part of our team is really our business to business team, and then we have some really cool regional roles that we have here, a few global roles, and people that also belong to our office but are not really here. So our field sales team, they drive around all over Germany and work with our customers as well. And then, of course, not to forget, not in this office, but our store employees, and then the group Merlin that I talked about before. Yeah.
I would like to add something here. We also have a lot of working students in the office. At the moment, we have approximately 12 working students, and the cool thing really is here that we have working students who have started their career at the Lego Group, which is really great. So there is a kind of a sense of having some experience, getting some work experience, getting some knowledge about the roles and responsibilities we have, and then later maybe joining the Lego Group then. Which is really great for me. I have a good example in my team where a working student has spent approximately 2 years with us, and then he's now responsible for the logistics management.
I'm so glad that you offered that up, Thomas, because I'm curious. When you say students, what age are we talking about?
Yeah, really. These are students in the age of my son, I would say. So really at the beginning of their studies with 22, and then joining after their bachelor or master degrees at the Lego Group. So really beginners in their working career.
Okay, so it's students at the university level, not high school students, for example.
Correct.
Okay. Good to know. Because I could see already there was a question in the Q&A about whether or not we had students and at what age. So that's why I'm happy that we answered that. Are any of the others of you working with students in your? Yeah.
I think I can add something about the question about the 15-year high school students. So
Yeah.
for the office, we unfortunately don't have anything that we can offer them for the school, like intern or school project thing, but we do have that in our stores. So whenever someone is interested, while being in a high school student working in one of our stores, we do have that as an offer, though.
Mm-hmm. Super. Can you talk a little bit about what is day-to-day like? Is everyone in the office speaking English, or is it German? How is it? How does it work in the Munich office?
I think it's a mix. I think we're really multicultural, so we obviously have English as the first language also when we communicate to other offices and departments. So I would say your first language that you use for presentations or anything that you would communicate within the Lego Group is English. But obviously we switch from German to English within the Munich office if everybody is German speaking in the meeting. But yeah, we're all flexible between those languages, I would say. And in the question of everyone speaking, it's English is the first language that we all have in common. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe to add though, for some of the jobs, especially if we work with outside customers, we do need German speakers, but it really depends heavily on the position and how much contact you have with what type of customer.
Okay, that's interesting. So let's just say a scenario here that I've finished my degree in Germany, and maybe I'm not very confident in my English. Is there any support for that, or how does that work? Should I still consider applying for a role, even if I'm not very confident with my English skills?
Maybe I can answer that. So in my team, we have also, as Anna said, a mix because we are talking to third-party providers such as DHL or the transport companies, as well as some of our customers. And of course, if we communicate to the customers, it's German, but you need to have a base of English. And to be honest, I was learning English in my job. And I have some of the from my team members just being brave and speak. We are all not, or many of them, we are not native speakers, but in our roles we just learn and be brave, and then it works.
So a lot of support from your colleagues. But what about from the Lego group itself? Do they sponsor any kind of instruction?
Yeah, I think we have actually support for some English lessons that we do. I actually don't think we use it that much, but it's there. It's there if needed. But as Thomas says, I think the learning on the job is always the best, because if you do a class, that's great. But maybe you don't really learn the terms that we use. At Lego, we use a lot of abbreviations and things like that. So it's, I think, the best thing to really learn on the job. A lot of them I have no idea about until this day. I just nod and say yes, that's a great idea. No idea what the abbreviation means, and nobody's called me out yet. So nothing to worry about there.
The Lego abbreviations. I mean, that's a secret to the inside culture at the Lego group. And actually, there's just been a big update. I don't know if you're aware, but there's an online dictionary in our company intranet where they've just done an update of those abbreviations. So keep an eye out for that. But it sounds like there's a lot of different functions in the Munich office. How many colleagues are we talking about?
So we're around 180 colleagues in the office in Munich, and then plus our around 20 field sales colleagues that drive around all over Germany. Overall, in the DACH region, Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, we're actually more close to 800 people now, with all of our stores and the office in Berlin that we have.
Okay, great. So we talked about some of the business functions. We talked about what our colleagues are doing there. Tell me a little bit about the culture. What is it like day to day in Munich?
I can talk a bit to the workplace, maybe also to get people understand what the office looks like. So the workplace itself, it was renovated after COVID 2021, 22 to bring really people back to the office. So we created a really nice, modern Lego working environment. It's super bright, it's friendly, it's open, it's a very colorful site. And you can imagine, you can see it behind us. You have tons of Lego bricks there. We have not only the products displayed, but also each meeting room is equipped with a bunch of Lego bricks so we can play and build ourselves. But despite having Lego bricks everywhere, we also have a playful area. So we have a ping pong room, we have table tennis, we have a little small library where you can hang out and have a read and some focus time. We also have swings. So we have 2 swings. You can swing along and chill in there. Obviously, we have a huge lounge area where we all have lunch together, and a small collaboration in meeting rooms. For lunch, most of us meet there between 12 and 1. We have a very German eating culture. So around 12, we all eat together. And we hang out in the lounge area. We have a vending machine where we can buy food, fresh and healthy food, or we can order it by a delivery service, a catering service, basically. And we also introduced after COVID the hot desking work system. I think you call it like that. That the employees don't have a fixed dedicated seat. So we just come in and we choose our seat that we want to different times and to the availabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I mean, the desks are fully equipped with full technicians, technique that you need. You can do hybrid working. You have the height adjustable desks. So that's all really nice in our workspace.
I'm glad you mentioned the hybrid working, Eva. What is that like? Can you tell us a little bit about the hybrid working?
I mean, you still have people joining online, or people like me who have colleagues all over the world sitting, and you join a global meeting. So they can just dial in from everywhere they sit, or doing home if they have a sick child at home. So all the meeting rooms are equipped, and it's no problem to join in virtually to make this meeting happen.
Yeah, and maybe to add to that, so at Lego, we are 3 days per week we're in the office.
Okay.
And 2 days we can work from home or be in the office. There's also some colleagues, of course, that really enjoy being in the office 5 days a week. That's obviously totally possible too. And if you want to stay home for 2 days, that's fine as well. So that's our policy, that we live everywhere in the Lego group, but also in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland.
Yeah. Fantastic. There's a question here that I wanted to get to in the chat, in the Q&A, talking about how do I come into the Lego group in Munich? Is it, do I have to just walk in the door and fill out an application, or how does that work? Can you
I
walk me
think
through
even in Germany, we've become a bit more modern than I think in the paper application, which is still a possibility. But of course, all of our great roles are always posted on our Lego Careers site. So would heavily encourage always keeping an eye on that, and applying to the open roles that you see there, and then we're happy to interview. We try to hire obviously as diverse as possible from different backgrounds. I saw a question somewhere in there: if you have to have a university degree. No, you don't. So we really try to bring in people with different backgrounds depending on what we need for that role. So we always really want you all to apply to our roles.
And
maybe something to add,
yeah.
Jake. Sorry for interrupting. I think what is also important is the onboarding. So even so, if you got the job, there is a really very good culture of onboarding. So we are managing onboarding plans. So we have, of course, some open positions, and then it is important that you really get to know the job, get to know the people, get to know what are the roles. So that is really important, that we have a really good culture of onboarding, as well as helping each other, helping to get to know the task, the processes, and there's really an open-minded attitude in the entire office, where newcomers are really welcome. That's and I'm for more than 6 years or 5 years in the company now, and I've recognized this as a real solid process what we have here in the Munich office.
That's fantastic to hear about how welcoming the culture is. I think that's a benefit that's in some ways unique to the Lego Group, but there are quite a lot of other benefits to the roles that we have. Are there benefits that are specific to your area? I mean, for example, what is it like for a parent with small children?
So I can tell you more about the benefits in general. I cannot tell you anything specific about being a parent with kids, because I don't have any. But I think with our best of both, working remotely and in a hybrid, we have a very certain big freedom of work and life balance, and I think our colleagues balance it quite well with having kids at home, challenging their work role and stuff like that. So I think you can decide on when and where to use your time at home. So this is where you can see people are having freedom of flexibility, and I guess that's a big benefit for that part. We don't have like anything like a kindergarten here, but yeah, well, if you are from here, around here, there's a couple of schools and kindergartens where you can also place your kids. But
yeah. And maybe just to add to that, Chung, because we actually have a pretty amazing benefit I find that sets us really apart, I think, from other employers, is that we have paid parental leave. So actually for 26 weeks a year, if you have a child, you get a paid leave from the Lego Group. Even more important now, as in Germany, parental leave benefit has been cut quite a bit for a lot of people. So that's a really amazing benefit that we give. And obviously, this is a toy company, right? Yeah. So everyone is always really excited about children. And we're really trying to support the working parents as much as we can here, also giving a bit more flexibility, if we can, if it's really necessary, while, of course, not forgetting our other employees that might also have specific circumstances at their home. So we really try to level it out, but give as much support as we can.
Also adding to that, there's also parental leave for dads. So like there's not only for moms, but we have like 8 weeks parental leave for dads as well. So that's great. Also, like in regards, if you are having a kid, they also get a Christmas present every year from age 2 to 12. So that is also something that every kid is looking forward to.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. There was a question in there, and just to go back to it for a second about language, because it seems there's quite a few questions that have popped up about language, and I just want to make sure that we help everybody out. What if you're not a German speaker?
I think in general, there's quite a good understanding that we are like we have so many different cultures within our location. So I just counted last week we have 29 nationalities. Not everyone is a German native speaker. And from my experience, like coming into like groups of colleagues, like and if you can see that there's someone who's not a native speaker, people take their time to speak slowly, or they are aware that some people are even not able to speak German on a level that we might be do. So there's a quite an understanding of different cultures, like there's such a huge diversity, and everybody's just like so open and friendly to each other. So you can feel the energy that everybody is like taking care of each other, and that is something that you can definitely see here. So don't worry if you're not perfect in German, so that nobody is like hanging up on that.
Yeah, I think that really sets us apart also, because you asked about culture earlier, Jake. I think that really sets us apart as an employer from other employers that I also have worked for before in my life, is that everyone is so super helpful. It's really crazy. I started working here, and you always know you can ask anyone any question you have. Nobody will ever, like give you a look, be like, why are you asking that? No, everybody will always be super happy to help. We'll put in a lot of time and effort to really help you with your questions. And, it doesn't matter where the person sits. Like I work a lot with people in other countries, and they are so accommodating and friendly and supportive of you that it's just a lovely environment that I think everyone can just, grow in and feel really supported, which is great.
Awesome.
And I would like to add that it also depends on the role. In the operations team, we have roles. There's more contact into other BUs than to our customers. So if it's a customer-based role, I would say German is important, super important. But we said earlier that you can learn it. But in other roles we have, in operations specifically, we have roles they are only English speakers, and we communicate in English. And to be honest, I like it, because then I'm training a little bit for my English. Yeah. So it's a kind of a mix. And in my team we have one person who is not so familiar with German, and then we swap into English and German. It is both is possible.
Excellent. Just to stay on the topic of education, because I've seen 3 or 4 now in the chat, questions about the types of roles, the degrees that we're looking for. I mean, are we looking for particular levels of education when we're hiring? Just to, maybe we could all just actually talk about our own personal experience on that one.
So basically, I have different levels of education in my team, if I can say so. There are roles where we are looking for a study, and most likely in business. But as I mentioned before, the working student, he has a technical background. So he's really a technical person, but based on his background, and his attitude and his work experience as a working student, we decided, hey, this is a person which we can support, and he's doing great in the role. So really different background, different education, depends really on the role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we also have a great example here where we have someone who is now one of our sales directors, and he actually started here, oh my God, probably like 20 years ago or so, as a dual student. So he actually did his Ausbildung, we say in German, here at the Lego Group. He started when he was 18. And, he just moved up the ranks. So he doesn't have a university degree. He just moved up through the ranks. And, we're interviewing for some open roles at the moment. And same there, we see someone who maybe doesn't have a university degree, has a different path of education they took, landed in a role where we think, wow, this actually matches exactly what we're looking for in a person. We talk to the person, we think they're a great cultural fit, they really fit with our values here. And, then there's nothing standing against it. So there can be so many different paths that you take to get to, this role that you want to do. And we're really open, try to be really open to take that into consideration.
I think, Jake, it is. I think one thing is also important to mention. It's our individual development plans. Yeah. So even I would say your education is the base, but then you need to develop in a job, and we have a lot of different programs, and Jung and Marina can tell you more about that. But we have a lot of different programs where you can learn, where you can develop yourself, and we as managers, as people managers, are asked to support the teams to find their own development plan based on their individual needs and based on what we see in the future is important for them.
I just want to add, just to give courage out there for the people. So I have not been a star student in the university, but if you have relevant job experience, what I did like in my past couple of jobs that I had, I found my job here as well. So you don't like you can go from anywhere.
And Chung is a real star here.
To me, this all speaks to that there's a variety of personal journeys that we take. I think there's also something in there about the soft skills. So maybe we could touch on that a little bit. What kinds of soft skills do we look at when we're looking at bringing somebody in from the outside? What kinds of soft skills do we look to develop internally in our culture?
I can go ahead. So I think so. As we are very supportive people working here to each other, also of course to our company goals. But I think what we're really looking for when we talk to people is, of course, you always want to have someone who fits the company values. And here, I think what's really important is that you're really open. We have a big, for example, diversity and inclusion focus overall in the LEGO group, but also in Germany, we have our own advocacy group that we have here. So I think just being supportive, being open to each other, really wanting to help out your team. So there's nobody someone who just fights for their own goal and doesn't see left or right. That's really important for us. We have our different teams here, and the teams have a lot of different stakeholders interactions in our region, but also with other regions. So it's really important that you're a collaborator, I would say. And especially now, I don't know if a lot of people have worked with the Danish culture before, but I think the Danish culture is really what's coming across everywhere, is that it's very collaborative, very consensus driven. So we all want to agree on something, which sometimes is not possible, but we try our best to really take everyone along and to be very inclusive of all the opinions that are there, to pick everyone up where they are and to bring us all to a common ground.
And I would say you should have fun.
Yes.
You should have fun.
Absolutely,
and you should be some kind of have some kind of humor and a sense for playing. That's also helpful. And take the ease of playing into your role. That's what is driving us. And I would like also to add that we are taking care of each other. That is also what I recognize as a Scandinavian or Danish value. We are really taking care of each other. If there's somebody who's not feeling well, he or she can talk to each other, and then we find a way out to as Varinia mentioned, to help to survive. Or if you have too much workload, set the right priorities together, try to help in the team. That's a way, what we are looking for, to have a right and very intensive team spirit.
I like this idea of these soft skills that have come in, and the ones that you mentioned, Thomas, this idea that we're working together in a team. I think there's something that leads us into an area maybe Eva can speak to, and that's social responsibility. So there was a question in there about whether or not Munich is the home of our social responsibility team. I'll let you answer that, but also maybe you could go a little bit deeper into what we mean when we talk about social responsibility at the LEGO Group.
Yes. So basically, social responsibility is making a bigger and more positive social impact to our local community through basically inspiring the children, the caregivers, the pedagogues, the parents, and also us employees with the learning through play method that we are fully supporting. So play is crucial for us. Play is not only crucial for children and their holistic development, but also for us as employees So the social responsibility team is spread out all around the world. We are present in 28 different sites, and one of them is Munich, where I'm sitting. But we're a global team, and social responsibility started with a handful of people, basically 7 or 8 years ago. We were like 10 people. Now the whole department has really expanded. We are over 60 people, and to be a social responsible company is super crucial for the Lego Group, and we're working closely with the environmental, with the sustainable team. But for us, it's not only selling the Lego products, it's not only making money, it's really making an impact to children, to underprivileged families, to children in need. And we're doing this with financial fundings, we're doing with product donations, we're doing this also with our manpower that we have at the sites. So we're using the employees, the Lego employees, and their pride and their motivation why they work for Lego, and use them for volunteering activities. So if you are a Lego colleague and if you join the Lego Group, you have 2 dedicated days in a year where you can go out and volunteer and spend your time, your working hours, for a charitable cause. And this is basically social responsibility and a fantastic department to work for. I'm happy to answer more, but it's so much more to tell. But it also forms and creates the culture that we work in. Yes.
And you could say that there are a lot of employee-focused groups within the culture, and maybe you could also speak to, or someone else could speak to, for example, our D&I group or one of the other groups.
Yes, I could speak to D&I as I'm a member of the D&I team. I mean, the Lego Group and Lego Play is basically for everyone, and so is our workplace. And we have a global D&I team that sits in Denmark, but then also our local advocacy groups, and they play a vital role, how we work with the topic D&I. So D&I has various activities that we enforce here. So for instance, we invite internal or external speakers speaking about different LGBTQIA topics. We invite them to talk about disability, ethnicity, socioeconomic backgrounds, gender topics, and so on. But also one annual event that we really celebrate and we love to do it is attending the Munich Pride event with the whole company. So we're celebrating the parade, and afterwards it's a big annual celebration for us. But we also host, which is one of my personal highlight, we also host cultural food events. So as Chung said, we have 28 different cultures.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, so the employees present about their culture, they present about their costumes, about their culture and country. But besides that, we also share and eat, obviously, food afterwards, which is a great come together. And I mean, we have the people promise with the Lego Group, and this is about succeeding and growing together. But we can only do this if everyone feels a strong sense of belonging to this group. And that's why the D&I group, the advocacy groups, doing enormous good work to bring alive this power of people promise.
What is the people promise? How would we describe that?
Verena, you can say it the best as you're working in HR. You're working with people all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just underlines that we really do everything we can to be a fair employer, to be an inclusive employer, and to really look out for our people, right? And we don't only have a people promise, we also have one about the environment and one how we deal with our partners, with our external partners. So it's really a way of how do we want to be seen and how do we want to interact with others in the most respectful, trustworthy way.
And so part of that people promise, we talked about some of the different groups. There are other groups within the Lego Group, such as, for example, the Leadership Playground. Does anyone want to talk a bit about what that means? What is the leadership?
I was just waiting for it that you're asking the question. Really, because it's an important one, a really important one, because this belongs to the whole Munich office. So everybody can join the group of playground builders. So this is really something where, which is, let's say, some kind of core of our values: brave, focused, and be curious. And this is a mix of people of different levels. We meet, we get inspiration from a global team to do some kind of activities or events. It could be something super small, a small team event where we, I don't know, go mini golf together, or it could be just building a Lego set together. That's really, really fun. in order really to have live our values every day. And just there's one thing what I very concrete what I want to share with you. We have developed under the roof of Together We Can, which is our headline for a couple of years now. We developed a theme which is called Steel with Pride, and there we share ideas.
Just to clarify,
Steel.
Thomas, you say steal with pride.
Yeah, I mean my pronunciation is not so good. It's more stealing. So if I take away something, an idea from somebody, sorry for. Not okay. So you need to learn English a little bit more than do. No, sorry for having that. No, Steel with Pride means that we share ideas across different offices, and that we are proud to copy an idea and use it for our teams, and that is part of the leadership playground where we want to establish this kind of thinking in the office and other offices as well.
Nice. I'd love to shift gears here a little bit, and I've seen a lot of questions about design team and that sort of thing. I just want to clarify, what kinds of roles could I expect in the Munich office? If I were focusing on Munich, where could I be looking? What kinds of jobs could I get?
So unfortunately, we don't have design jobs here. They're all located in Billund in Denmark, where our headquarter is. So the really, juicy stuff. No, I'm just kidding. That's, of course, only one part of the super cool roles we have here. But as you can see, we have, just from the people here in this call, we have a variety of roles here. So we do have a lot of sales profiles here that we have. I think that's the biggest part, really, of our employee base here, just because it's our focus in the business unit here. But marketing is a massive team. Maybe Anna can actually speak a bit to that, what kind of roles we have in the marketing team, and maybe what your role is, because it's also pretty cool.
Sure. The marketing is quite an extensive team, I would say. I'm not even sure how many employees we count at that date, but we come together from brand management, who look after the different product lines and are responsible for those, but also the team where I belong to. It's internally we call it the Earn team, but it's all about external communication and events, basically, and it also includes influencer marketing. So we are the small team within marketing, and we take care from everything that's like externally seen by the customers, I would say, or read about. So I do the really classical communications stuff, like writing press releases, but also looking into radio prolongment, so doing anything like that. But I'm also hosting a variety of events for influencers, press, sometimes extending that also to customers, working together also with Eva on that. So for our charity partners to also share the social responsibility here. So I think marketing in itself, and that's not only within the LEGO Group, has a huge variety of tasks that we cover, but also looking into marketing at the LEGO Group. We work quite closely with like different departments and different, we work with Global together. We work with in-between steps, so everyone's like concluded by another level that's from Western Europe. So all the Western Europe markets come together here and also exchange plans and ideas. So that's quite helpful to be in interaction with other markets that may come to the same problems, or also need a bit of like sparring with each other between the markets. So yeah, quite a huge variety that we cover within the marketing team.
So we have some marketing roles, we have some HR roles, we have people, places, and cultures, as it's called. We have some social responsibility roles. What other types of roles do we see?
Yeah, Thomas, you want to maybe talk a bit about the operations team, because that's also
absolutely. So as well, and operations, and in the operations we focus on customer operations, which means in rough words, we from the order until the invoice, we are doing everything, order intake and preparation of the transport, talking to our third-party providers, and the demand planning team, which is also an important part of our operations team, is looking for the right plans, that we have the right demand plan sending to our production, and that we receive the products on time and hopefully in full into our warehouse, to be ready to ship that. And that is very dynamic. And these are the roles I refer earlier to, which are also some kind of English-speaking roles, which is not so much necessary to have a fluent German in place.
Yeah, and I would say the same goes for our marketing team. There's also definitely some roles where you don't necessarily need German. And then maybe just to talk a bit about our sales function, because that's also quite big here in Munich. We have 3 different sales teams, and most of the people in the sales teams are account managers. So they work directly with our customers that then basically sell Lego Lego products at their stores. So for example, Smith's is a very big customer that we have. They sell all kinds of toys, but of course also Lego. Then we work with, you know, our local it's a yeah, exactly, Lego brand retail. We also work with, so also with our stores we work. There's also some colleagues here that work directly with what goes on in our stores. And then all types of other customers. For example, we have our Rossmann and DM. What's the English word for a drogerie? Anyone can think of that?
Drugstore.
Drugstore, yeah, thank you. Wasn't that hard? So as you can see, we like to help each other here. Yeah. So that's where everywhere you see Lego basically is what our sales teams they work with those clients.
Excellent. We just have a few minutes left here, and there was, you know, always a bunch of questions in here about our favorite sets and that sort of thing. I want to take a little twist on what is your favorite set, but I actually want to say, what is your favorite set that you most recently built? And it can be a build in the office, because I know that a lot of times we're also unpacking boxes and building together amongst our teams. And if that's the case, I'd love to hear about that as well. Let's just start with Trung.
Oh, I can say that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just built that in preparation for this call today. So that was my build. I love the flower bouquet.
Nice to have a bit of the backdrop there.
Exactly.
So I'm a fan of Italy, and as you can see, I have another one, the Vespa in the 125. I built one, and I have another one in the back. So maybe next time when I have some time, and if it's darker earlier, then I will spend some hours on it.
That's a great build. That was my family and I's build earlier in the year. We did that together.
Yeah. So for me personally, I like the Asian themed Lego sets the most. I think the bonsai tree I bought like 14 times to give it away already. But to be honest, like the last time building in the office, we do have so many events where the marketing team plans like little builds, and it sometimes it's just little flowers, or sometimes it's something colorful, or something playful. So there's also bits and pieces, and you always play with Legos around the office. Sometimes you have the comic books, the comics that goes with the Lego minifigures, where you just build like a mini Batman, which is like kind of nice here now. So there's always something to play with in the office, which is like awesome.
So building with Lego bricks coming into your everyday roles as well. Nice. I like that, being playful. Anna, did you have a favorite set or one that you built?
I think my favorites are kind of biased from the activities that I plan around them, because we did a big launch in EUC for like the gas market for the Technic G-Wagon. So that's one of my favorites from this year launches. For me personally, like which I would like give away as presents, I think it's botanicals. Most of my friends own botanicals through that. So there's like such a huge variety, and I don't know anybody who's not excited about those great Lego flowers. So I think those are my all-time favorite by now. But the last thing I actually built was what Trung was referring to, we had a little kickoff for campaign internally. So we built freely. So we built something with Lego Classic. So with the bricks itself. So really going back to the core, and we built something that made our life more playful. So that was quite a variety of like creations that came up there. So that was really fun.
Amazing! I'd love to see those. Verinia, do you have one as well?
Yeah, just wanted to say though that that's what you can expect working here. You'll just get an email in your inbox saying, "Hey guys, we need help building sets," you know. And you go over, pick up a set, and you build it here. And your friends ask you, "Hey, what were you doing at work today?" And you can just say, "Well, you know, it was really tough. I had to build a whole Lego set, you know." Tough luck, but yeah, that's just the type of things you can expect working here, which is obviously super cool. Yeah, actually, I wish I could say I built this awesome frog here. I did not. I inherited that from a colleague, but I did build those flowers in the back here, which are really nice. And yeah, those are amazing to gift, obviously.
Fantastic. I'm going to put you guys on the spot one last time. Just 2 words, your favorite part about working in the Munich office or the job that you do there. Just take a really quick lightning round before we sign off. Thomas, you are first.
Words only.
2 words.
Oh, team spirit.
Team spirit. Excellent. Good choice. Trung.
2 words. People and energetic, I would say. Like
people and energetic.
Energetic people.
Yeah. All right. Energetic people. Verinia.
Yeah.
I would say freedom and team.
Freedom and team. Super. Anna.
I would say huge variety, to keep it within 2 words.
A huge variety. Excellent. Eva.
I would say impact and children.
Impact on children. Oh, perfect. Thank you guys so much for wrapping it up. If you're listening at home or watching at home or in your office or whatever, if we didn't get to your question, don't worry. Our producers are looking at all the questions. Somebody's going to have a chance to get back to you. If you missed any part of this, you want to wrap it up, you can always see it on the Crowdcast platform. That's it for this episode of Live Behind the Bricks here in Munich. Join us next time later in the week when we go to Singapore. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you,
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.